Hey, what's up, y'all? A little bit different angle here, and I'm making sure you can see my shoes because I'm doing a video on Brandblack's Specter Critical 2.0. The Specter Critical 2.0. And the reason I'm doing this video is not simply, I'll do an on foot, that's going to come at the end. I'm actually wearing the Nebula, so you'll see that when I do the on foot. But the Specter Critical, the shoe, Brandblack is a company that consists basically of two guys. So when you see like a Brandblack video and you think like, if you're looking at wear testers or something like that, and you think that they have all of this money that's available to them, or you think that their shoes are overpriced, there's two people basically running Brandblack. They're a lot like I was when I was making Arch, my shoes, and of course my basketball shoe up here, Show Shot. If you can't see it, I'm not pulling it down from up there, but you see the other basketball shoes I made for Arch. And I'm sitting over here and I'm talking about it from this angle for an extremely important reason. A lot of sneaker people, they like sneakers simply because Nike makes cool sneakers, but there are a lot of us who have attempted to have sneaker businesses, and I've been making sneakers since 2004. I don't make them anymore, so let me rephrase that. When I made shoes, they were cheaper. I had a factory that gave me a really good price. However, when I made this basketball shoe, I never produced the shoe because it had to be made at the same facility as 361. That would require me to do a 1200 run pair of this basketball sneaker, even though I knew this sneaker was dope. I never made it, and I bring this up because the Specter Critical used to be a $265 shoe, and it's now $180. So what happened? What happened? And I'm going to do a close-up so you'll get to see it. Well, the company, the manufacturer for Hoka and On running has taken on Brandblack. Now, does this mean that all of their shoes are going to drop in price? No, that does not mean that all of their shoes are going to drop in price, but the Specter is now a running shoe that's being made in the same facility as Hoka and On running. That reduces the price. The reason I'm sitting over here is because I gave up on this. Even though I did a Kickstarter in 2014, it was too late for me by then. I had spent so much money in the process of creating this, and it's much cheaper now. So you see all kinds of people starting shoe companies because they're connecting with someone on Alibaba or something like that. But in 2004, 2009, it was a much more difficult process. And Brandblack has been around since then. They've been around a very long time. They do an incredible job. They have a great relationship with Vibram. So you see the outsole here, and they do a lot of testing for Vibram where they'll take shoes that they've created and other products will be made from what Brandblack has done. The brand is awesome. If you go through this video channel, you can search Brandblack and you'll find a bunch of Brandblack videos because I love the brand. I had not bought a pair of these, but I did because I have a wholesale account. Now, the wholesale account will allow me to price the brand, to buy the Brandblack sneakers at the wholesale price, and the new wholesale price, Brandblack has always been a cost pricing point away from becoming a bigger, better company. Brandblack is there now, at least with the Specter 2.0. And the Specter is an incredible running shoe. It runs small though, so if you're going to get one, it runs about a half a size small. Now, I'll be able to put these on, you'll be able to see it because they fit just well enough in my size 13. They fit just well enough, and I tried them on already. That's how I know that. But the cushioning system here is the Jetlon Super Critical Jetlon foam, and it's gotten rave reviews from running channels. I do mostly fitness stuff, and I do work out with my daughter and train her for track and field. But man, I'm excited about the fact that Brandblack gets to move into a price category comparable to mainstream sneaker companies. It's no longer a luxury, even though a price point of 180, which is where the Super Critical is now going to be priced. I don't think it's been adjusted on their website, but from my wholesale side of the website, I can see the adjustment is now $180. That's a big deal because the Ultra Boost is now $190, and you're talking about a shoe that feels equally as good as an Ultra Boost. That's the way I'm starting this video. Let me get to a close-up so you guys can see this. Definitely going to read some information. But let me get to a close-up so you guys can see the shoe, and I'm going to do an on foot. But I wanted to talk about the fact that in manufacturing, when you make a shoe, it used to be that you had to make. I got to a point where I can make my shoes cheap enough, and I did that for a few years. But when you get into the point of you're making performance shoes, which these are, and that shoe up there at the top is, the performance manufacturing is much different than making a casual shoe that doesn't have any tech specs. Much different. So the fact that they can produce this shoe now at a better price, man, it's awesome. It's awesome, and I'm excited about it. So let me do a close-up so you guys can get a look at the shoe up close and personal. And I've been considering this idea of opening a shop that didn't carry any Nike, that carries a lot of different brands. And Brandblack is one of those companies that I think when people see it in person, they will sell. And at 180 on this Super Critical, I think I can move a ton of these. Look how thick this insole is. I love how it says Brandblack Los Angeles, model 2125 performance spec. And it is a sturdy shoe insert. Notice it's not flopping all over the place. But beautiful shoe, man. Amazing opportunity for the company to grow into a new segment and not be considered such a performance luxury brand. So let me get to this close-up. But this is the Specter SC 2.0, style code M484BB. There's no color on this one, man, so I'm going to have to look it up and put it in here. But I have a TNRD at the end, and I think that's the color. But when I bought it, I have it all in the paperwork, so I'll do that. But like I said, the shoe is now priced competitively, and I'm dropping stuff. I'm going to leave that in. And that's a big deal. It's a very big deal, and I can't stress that enough. Let's get to a close-up so you can see it, and let's get to an on foot so you can see what it looks like on foot. I'm not doing any testing or drills today, and so don't expect me to be running and doing a whole bunch of stuff. This is really about the manufacturing aspect and the price drop. Very important. Very important. Close-up. All right, so I wanted to make sure I got this close-up of the shoe so you could get a really good look at it. As a matter of fact, let me pull both of these out. While I'm on video, I need to just double check. Desk impact, no stamps on the inside of the box. So unlike bigger brands where you have QC stamps and things like that, that's not happening here. I want to make sure I do this 360. You see the Vibram XS Trek, and that's for the outsole. But you see the unfinished. What I wanted you to see here is that unfinished look to the tongue. So I'm showing you that. And then here at the back you have Brandblack, which is a part of the cushioning setup. Or actually, I think, is this functional? No, this is not functional. The foam here is not functional. The foam is all inside of the midsole. And that's the Super Critical. You see it right here, Super Critical Jetlon. And all of the reports I've read have been fantastic on Jetlon. Just amazing. So I'm just making sure you get the medial shot there. And I'm just turning this around slowly so you can get a look at it. And I'm rocking it back and forth here. But it's a very good looking shoe, man. And yeah, it's not, it's not one of your more well-known brands, but you're talking about a very, you know what, let me move this up so you can see, the suede here, and then you have this kind of overlay of mesh, and then underneath, you can't see through it, but it should be a really breathable shoe because there's a mesh on the inside of it. Let me pull this out, and I said I was going to show you guys the insole. So I'm taking this insole out just to show you how thick it is, and then give you a look at that on the insole. And I'm going to hold this here so you can see the inside of it. If you're a store owner and you've been looking for a brand to just kind of work with, I think Brandblack would be an excellent option for you to pick up as far as your store is concerned. Now, of course, for me, I don't own a store. I do a lot of e-commerce, so I don't have a physical store. But if I'm really going to consider opening up this physical store, I love how the tongue has the Brandblack right here on it, Los Angeles. If I'm thinking about setting up a store, then Brandblack is definitely a brand that I would put in there. They just make an amazing shoe. Let's get to the on foot so you guys can see what that looks like. And enough of me just yakking about the shoe. But if you're a guy with an account, it's definitely a brand you should consider. Let's get to that on foot. All right, so let's throw on these Super Critical 2.0s. Like I said, they run a little bit small, just a little bit small, but they are extremely comfortable. So I'm just gonna get this on foot on so you can see what they look like on foot. And you see the Brandblack Nebula. I'll move that over, Brandblack Nebula. So let's get these nebulas off and see what happens. So this joint, right, they are right here at the toe, so they are snug. I go up half a size just for the comfort, especially if I was going to be running with them. I'm going to be wearing these pretty much barefoot, no socks. And dude, super light. I gotta say something about the Nebula. Now the Nebula, when Brandblack made this shoe, it was a couple of years ago. This Nebula, it had these two pieces right here, and those two pieces make the shoe really uncomfortable. You see I have it tied up here as opposed to going all the way to the top. You could not run in this thing. I really don't even work out in it, and it's squeaky. Beautiful shoe, made very well, but in comparison to this, which is super light and it feels just, the drop isn't very high at all, even though the back looks like it's got a big kind of cushion. It's not a big drop. But man, it's a nice shoe. But that's it. I'm gonna wrap this up. You can let me know what you think about the Super Critical, but if you have a store and you wanna add these into an account, you should definitely do it, man. Definitely worth the money. Really worth the money. It's a great shoe. And with that price drop, you can't lose. I'll see you guys on the next one. That's it. Peace.